So next day dawns bright and early. You've probably all gotten in bed around maybe 2, except for Miranda, who headed home around midnight or so. Your alarm goes off, Jody, probably around 8 o'clock. So you can get up, get cleaned up, head down to the police station. I don't know if the rest of you are planning to get up early. Bunks is no.
Kind of early. Go to a AA meeting.
Okay.
Talk to my sponsor, and I'll probably swing by the church.
Okay. Sounds good. You plan to do that like around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock? What are we thinking?
Yeah, before 10.
What day is today?
It is Thursday morning, believe it or not. That's if you remember, we started actually playing. I think it was 1 week ago today.
Okay.
Wow, isn't that crazy? Lots happened in a week.
Not in real time.
Yes, might be time for a vacation for sure. Yeah, it's a lot.
Heck, I might take a personal day.
Evil can wait. That's right. So, 9 o'clock rolls around, Jody. You've just walked up to the New Orleans Police Department building. It's a very heavy granite affair, all these granite slats like this with glass behind them, and of course an open area with pillars. You walk up to it, because you don't have a car, so you walk up to it, to the front big glassed-in entrance. This is not the precinct you went to before. This is the main building.
Okay.
Because you had gone to a smaller precinct before with a glass window where they kind of stonewalled you on the whole thing with Terrence. But this is the main branch. So you go up, everything's glassed in. You walk into the front door. You can see lots of open areas with desks and people sitting behind desks, men and women. You think probably detectives. You see patrol officers going in and out. There's police cars all around, leaving and coming back. So it's a pretty busy place. And you go into the front. There's a desk, and there's a young woman behind the desk, blonde, and she seems to be working at a computer.
I step up and wait for her to recognize. See that I'm there.
Computer goes, psst. And she goes, not again. You gonna let the computer die?
Oh, I thought
Yes.
you...
Yes.
Do you want, if you take the compel, you can let her computer die.
Yeah.
Okay. She goes, what?
Hi, I'm here to see Officer McHenry.
Fine, let me buzz you through. Let me call him first. Pick up the phone.
Take my ID back.
Someone here to see you?
You didn't want it.
Yes. Okay, I'll buzz her through. Go on through, straight back. It's the second door on the left. He's got an office.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You can hear her mumbling things really, probably that you shouldn't say in front of small children. She's playing with the computer, trying to figure out what's going on, hitting the power button, everything. It's dead. So
Just imagining she gets close to trying door, fries it, fails lock.
it's locked inside. You go in through the glass door, lots of tile, fluorescent lights, and you head down this long hallway. You see several policemen and policewomen standing in hallway. Some of them are drinking coffee or, Cokes, talking. They see you. As you get closer to them, they immediately stop talking about what they're talking about. Maybe it's something, they don't know who you are. You go down the hallway. Second door on the left is closed, and there's a window in it, but there's a curtain over it. What do you want to do? Come in.
I go in.
McHenry is sitting behind a desk, and he says, "Oh, the lady from last night. Your name is Dela Fontenot, right? Mm-hmm. Look, I was gonna take your statement, but after the death of 3 of our officers, it's been kind of kicked upstairs a little bit. So I'm gonna escort you to Captain Brian Johnson."
In my mind, I'm like, great.
Yeah, you're a little nervous about this. He says, "Look, let's head to the elevator, and I'll take you upstairs."
We did good.
You don't want to go on the elevator.
I'm gonna go on the stairs.
He looks at you kind of funny and says, "Okay, cardio. We'll take the stairs. It's only about 3 flights."
I just don't trust electronics.
I understand. Mildred, the lady out in the lobby, seemed a little bit upset. She said something that her computer had quit on her in the middle of filing a report, so she's not real happy right now.
Right, I was there when it happened, which is why I don't want to take your elevator.
Sure. Well, it is kind of old. Here, let me show you where the stairs are. So you walk down further down to all the way to the end of the hallway. There's doors, holding cells. There's areas where you're booking. There's also interview rooms, and you get all the way to the end, and there's a set of elevators. The doors open, ding, ding, as you walk by, which is kind of a weird thing for elevator doors to do. He's kind of looking at it and says, probably a good idea if we take the stairs. Opens one of the doors, pushes the little bar, you go in, start heading up the stairs. I am going to need you to make me... Hold on.
Endurance check?
Probably what we're going to need. Yes, actually. That sounds like a great thing to do. Make me an endurance check, please.
Ooh. That, I'm going to re-roll this one since it's picked up.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh!
No, even better. What'd you get?
I have a 3.
Okay. You start trucking up the stairs. You get to the top. When you do, you're a little winded, so you're going to take 1 point of physical
Really?
stress. Yes.
Man.
It's a little tiring heading up those stairs. Turns out it's about 4 flights up. You notice that McHenry seems to be handling it pretty well. He's in pretty good shape. You get up there, come out of the door, and this area of the police department is decidedly nicer. It's carpeted. The glassed-in offices are a little nicer. They have nicer desks, things like that. You notice that several of them have bookshelves on the back wall. His was basically just a paneled cubicle. I mean, it wasn't really nice at all. So you're kind of like, all right, this is a little nicer area. He takes you about halfway down the hallway. You turn to the right, and there's a secretary sitting in front of a glassed office that actually has the blinds drawn on it. And he says, Officer McHenry, I'm here to see Captain Johnson. This is Dela. And the secretary says, let me call and make sure he's available.
And I'm going to make sure I'm trying to give wide berth since apparently I'm super...
Well, you are maybe a little nervous, right? So she gets on the phone and...
I should have had a shot.
And so then she...
Before he came.
Flu shot.
Yeah.
That's great.
Let's say
She
that.
puts the phone down and says, yes, the captain will see you. Go right on in. Officer McHenry, you can leave. McHenry goes, oh? Okay. I'll head back down. So
Bye, thank you.
he heads back out and down, and you head inside the door. Behind,
It's all getting fried now.
right, well, it's a nice door, nice office. It's got wooden walls behind it, large desks. There's some bookshelves with various binders and folders and stuff like that. A couple what look like file cabinets, and behind the desk is sitting this gentleman, dark hair. He's actually wearing, it looks like dress blues. And so, he's got the hat and the nice coat and everything like that. And he as you come in, he stands up, maybe in his 40s, mid 40s. So he's a bit older than you. And he says, Dela.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Brian Johnson extends his hand out, shakes
Nice
his
to
hand.
meet you. Anything?
No, he's not a
He's
practitioner.
fried.
Yeah, he's right. No, he's not a practitioner.
Brian Johnson.
You must
Not
not a
Brian
robot
Johnson, right.
either.
He says, I saw the report that McHenry had filed, and that's fine. That'll do. He says, have a seat.
Okay.
Now tell me what really happened. Off the record. He says, I lost 3 good men last night, and I want to know what really got them. So you're kind of like, what? How much do I tell you?
Can I
Knock you down.
ratchet up my nervousness to ensure that all possible electronic recording devices could be fried that are in the room?
I'll let you do that. Well, he doesn't seem to be recording anything that you can tell. If you want to slide me one of those little fate points back, I'll make sure that happens. Okay.
I fried a computer so I could fry everything.
That's right. That's right. If there's any listening devices, you're feeling a little nervous.
I trust no one. I mean,
You notice that his computer, interestingly enough, is turned off. Not running or in sleep mode where you can see power saver mode. It's actually turned off.
Well, I'm just being safe. And
Right.
if it's turned off, then it didn't fry itself.
No, it did
so
not.
We're good. All right. So, what do you know?
I know that 3 of my men died. I know they died in very strange circumstances. One of the perpetrators who supposedly killed them was decapitated. The other one was stabbed to the chest with a sword. So that's a little odd, and that's not in the official report, of course. We're going to put that it was gang violence or maybe something along those lines.
It really was gang violence,
Really?
if you think about it. So let me explain.
So let's explain. Really? Explain how this was gang violence?
It all started with the ghosts in the city, especially in the quarter area, were very upset. They couldn't sleep. They couldn't get any rest. They were causing lots of problems in restaurants and bars and all that kind of stuff. So we investigated to keep damage down and to not freak people out. And we discovered that there was something further north and west that was causing the ghosts to be kept awake all the time. Mm-hmm. Long story short, the people who were doing it were the owners of the Museum of Death. They got a hold of an item that allowed them to do that. And they had a bunch of ghouls. You may not know what those are, but they're very
flesh-eating. They tend to hang around the docks. They've been making their way into organized crime in the area, actually, which is a big
why
concern.
I call it gang-related.
Right.
Because they act like a gang.
Bunk's going, what?
So they acted like a gang. So originally, the ghouls attacked us, and we came back again and attacked them, and discovered that this couple from the Museum of Death were responsible for all of it. She was a necromancer, and he was her what do they call him? Stoogie?
Apprentice?
Apprentice? Okay, apprentice. And Stoogie apprentice. Apprentice. So we attempted to lure them into the cemetery so that we could quietly and easily take them out. And the officers who assisted us were handpicked by the church. They had assisted in things like this before, so they knew exactly what they were looking into.
Right,
what
they're
looking into.
a part of the New Orleans Special Task Force, right.
Right, but for various and sundry reasons, the things that they'd done there, the battle did not go so well in the cemetery. And we had to take out a drum, a magical, mystical drum that was causing all the problems in the city. So we had to go to the Museum of Death. We came in from 2 different sides. The police came in from
The front.
the front, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of us, we came in from the back so that they wouldn't put us together. And it was a tough battle. It was very mean. They had lots of nasty stuffs in their arsenal.
How exactly did Jefferson and Captain... and Antoine and the sergeant die?
I was in the back part of the storefront.
Well, what did you see when you came around front?
When I came around front, I saw that two of the officers were slumped against the wall. It looked like they'd been attacked by the ghouls.
Remember, they were desiccated. They'd been drained of energy. Yeah.
Isn't that what ghouls do?
No, it was a big necrotic magic
It was
spell.
like some
that-
sort of necrotic spell went
The
off.
captain actually got slashed to pieces by the ghosts.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
the other 2 got necroticized.
Well, okay.
If that's a
Well,
word.
part of their magical thing that they had going on was if they touched something, it could pull the life energy out of them. So it just sucked the life from them.
So the people that were executed, that was your work.
The man, yes, that was my work. I think I executed. Yeah,
You-
both.
You did both.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Both of
You
them.
did both of them.
Back up.
Yeah.
Yes, that was my work. I am a warden. I am the warden of New Orleans.
A duly
I don't
appointed
know if
member
you
of
know
the
what that
White
means.
Council. You're supposed to administer the magical things that go on in this area. Right. I'm
Right,
familiar with the White
and-
Council.
With all the atrocities that they had committed and were going to continue to commit, I took them out so they couldn't be saved by the system and do further damage to the city.
Right. Well, my understanding of the White Council is they generally don't save necromancers anyway. They're generally executed summarily out of hand. We've had wardens in the city before. You're not the first one to be the warden of New Orleans,
I know.
and not the first warden I've met either. but they were handled.
The wardens were handled?
No. The problems were handled.
Okay.
The wardens are generally allies of the police.
I was about to go.
Although sometimes the hordes were the
wait a
problem.
minute.
Never handled
That's why you're another guy.
I'm like,
We'll
I'm
see in
gonna
the
take
back of the
reason
shed.
why
We
we need
needed
to
a
whole
new
building down.
He says
No one has
generally the
electricity.
wardens and the White Council align the same direction as we do. We're both keepers of the peace. They're generally better equipped to deal with the more magical menaces, and sometimes they need backup. Only thing I'm concerned about is I don't want any more of my men losing their lives.
Well, we don't either. We had no
Right.
idea that was going to happen or it was going to go that way. We thought we had everything worked out and figured out, but they had a lot of powerful items that we were not aware of.
What's happened to these items? We don't want them falling into the wrong hands.
They won't. I've taken the items and they will be delivered into the white. They'll be delivered
Into the white
council's coffers to be kept, and then yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's what I needed to hear off the record, of course. We can't make this go away. I may need to get a statement from you later. But for the most part, we're pretty adept at making the non-mundane appear mundane to the department. We've been doing this for a while. We're reasonably good at handling these threats. Necromancers are a little out of our league. He says, so next time you need backup for any magical mission like this, I want you to go through me, not through the rest of the department. He reaches onto his desk and he hands you one of his cards. He says, I want everything cleared through me before any of my officers are brought into anything you're doing.
I understand. We were under the impression that these officers had done these before.
They had, but I need to make sure that when an officer's lost in the line of duty and it's hard to explain to his family what he was doing in the line of duty,
Yeah,
it's tough.
I
So
know.
I just don't want any more of that happening if we can avoid it.
We'll do that.
Yeah, he stands up and he shakes your hand. He says, thank you for being honest with me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for your knowledge and understanding.
And so he you start heading out, and he's walking with you to the stairs. And he goes to the stairs, and he's talking to you, and he says, so you handled the necromancers, you're taking care of the items and things like that. Have you contacted the White Council? Are they aware of the situation?
I have. It was very late last night.
Right.
You were my first appointment of the day, so
Right.
when I get home, I'm going to be talking to the White Council and taking
great.
care of those items.
So he takes you out, and he's kind of walking you out is what he's doing, okay? As you're walking down there, he says, oh. And when you get to the lobby, you can see that there's a young woman, and she has two kids, two girls. The lady's got kind of reddish hair. She's thin, maybe in her 20s, and you can tell she's been crying. Her eyes are red and stuff like that. And Captain Johnson says, just a minute. And he walks over to her and he says, Sarah? And she says, Captain Johnson? And he says, look, why don't you come back behind here? I think we need to talk about what happened to Antoine. And she says, okay. And she says, come on, Hillary, come on, Jillian. And so she grabs the kids, and they're kind of looking wide-eyed around the police department, kind of what's going on. Right behind her comes in this young black woman. She's dressed nicely, and she comes in and she says, Johnson, what happened to my boyfriend? And Johnson goes, I'm going to explain everything to you, I promise, but I need to get Sarah and the kids. I need to get the kids busy doing something so I can talk to you and Sarah together. And she says, well, you better tell me what happened to him, and whoever did it better pay. And she goes, sweeping back in there just in time for the door to be buzzed out of her way. And he says, this is not going to be a fun morning. And he says, well,
I'm sorry.
thank you for, hey, I appreciate you being honest with me. And like I said, next time, clear it through me first. And he kind of wipes the sweat from his forehead and heads back behind the glass door. You notice that Mildred, the girl who's sitting behind the counter, is watching this whole thing. And she kind of looks at you, and then she kind of looks at what's going on, and she just goes, and goes back to, looks like her computer's come back on, and she's typing.
Should I walk over?
No, I won't.
So
You shouldn't. You should sachet.
all right, you've gotten up. You've gone to your AA meeting. It's probably about 9 o'clock in the morning. This has probably taken about an hour or so to get all this done. He did have you fill out a little bit of paperwork and stuff like that, but we'll kind of gloss over that. Then you were going to go to the church and
Speak to. I guess it was Fano, or I can't remember who was the on-site guy.
Deacon Fontainebleau.
Fontainebleau, not Fontainebleau.
That's I thought that was pretty fun.
And I can't recall how much we filled him in about what happened.
He doesn't know anything that happened last
Okay.
night. No, this is, like I said, this is the morning after, so yeah.
So I'm gonna go let him know what happened and that we lost guys and just check in and see if they had any issues since we turned in the Staff of Solomon or anything like that. No one's come poking around for it or whatnot.
Right. You go into the front doors, the little door towards the offices. You know where that is through the church, and so you head down there. Head down. I think it's a couple doors down on the left. The door says Deacon Fontainebleau. Knock on the door. You hear a muffled "come in" from inside. You go in, and Deacon Fontainebleau is sitting behind his desk. He looks like he's writing something, and he looks up and he says, "Oh, Marissa, it's good to see you." And so, how did things go last night?
Not great.
Oh.
Yeah, we lost like 3 people.
Well, have a seat. Have a seat. So he points to one of his, like nice little stuffed
Yeah.
chairs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we found the people responsible, and they've been they were taken care of. But we lost people last night, and I don't think anybody thought we were going to be up against what we were up against.
What were their names? Yeah, That's right.
I tell him their names.
Antoine, Jefferson, and then Sergeant. I cannot remember the sergeant's name. I think I'll look it up. Sergeant. Oh no, sorry, Sergeant Jefferson.
Sergeant Jefferson, and then there was
Sergeant.
Vasquez lived.
O'Malley lived too.
Williams,
Larry
Williams.
and Antoine. Okay,
And-
Antoine, Larry, and then Sergeant Jefferson. Yeah, they were the 3 that died.
Yeah.
He says, "Well then, we will say a special mass for their immortal souls. I'll see if I can get the Archbishop involved. If not, I'll at least have one of the priests do it. For sure. These men died in service to the church and especially in service to God, and we need to remember them for the heroes that they are and the warriors."
I appreciate that. Also, there was a kid, Oliver, who
Yeah.
worked.
Oh, Oliver, the security guard. He's been dismissed. Yes, we don't need him around allowing people into sacred and holy ground to do rituals like you took care of last night.
Right.
No.
I think we may need to follow up with him. I think he was a little more involved than just letting people in. I think he was
I can track him down.
promised like necrotic immortality or something, and
Well, the
really drank the Kool-Aid.
forces of evil always promise a lot of things to people to get them involved. That's for sure. But I have his last residence where we used to send his checks, and so I'm pretty sure I can track him down, and we'll see if we can send a emissary of the church out to have a chat with him. So.
Okay. Do you mind if I go with the emissary? I just
No, of course not.
Considering what we've been dealing with lately, I don't want to send a lot of unprepared people into
Absolutely.
something.
Sure. No, that's fine. That's fine. Of course, you can go with an emissary of the church. We consider you a friend here, Miranda. Of course. Anything you're interested in. Yes, absolutely. I'll see if I can dig up the information, and I'll get one of the maybe priests to go along with you, and you can go talk to him. Who knows? Perhaps we can save this young man's immortal soul. I mean, that's bottom line what we're here for.
That's the number one goal.
All right. Look, let me get back to you with the information, and we'll set up an appointment. Let's plan to meet here tomorrow, maybe 10 a.m., and I should have the information, and hopefully one of the priests is available at that time, and you can head out there.
Sounds great.
Sounds good. Good.
Thank you for your time. I know you're very busy, so.
You stand up, and your phone rings.
Oh.
And it's a phone call, and the number that comes up is Dela.
Oh, okay.
And the phone, the number says Dela Fontenot, and it says yes. I'm sorry, your phone doesn't ring. A text message comes through, and it says the number that comes up is Dela Fontenot. It says, "Hey, I need to meet you at my house. Can I see you at 11 a.m.?"
Today? Is it
Yeah,
referring
that's what
to
it says,
today?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Like, oh, well, looks like I have another appointment here very soon, but thank you for seeing me.
Yeah.
Without an
Now, you got
appointment.
about an hour and a half because it's only about 9:30. It didn't take long to talk to him, so
All right. Well, after I leave there, I'll go grab some food and head to Della's house.
okay, cool.
I was doing really well, not talking to your interaction. I'm not gonna lie, whenever you started it, my mind blanked for a moment, and you're just like, yeah, how'd it go last night? Like, not very good, we lost 3 people. And I was thinking it was the AA meeting. And I
Damn.
was like, and then I just started thinking about this whole thing, like,
Dude, be sad.
do they send someone to collect the pins? Is it on the honor system, or they just expect you to bring them back? Like that was...
Wow.
When did I
All right.
text her?
All right, so Kylan, were you planning to get up early this morning?
Yeah, I'd probably clean up the rest of the.
Well, you've gotten everything done. The boxes were finished. You would actually set up your traps, if you remember.
Yep.
Right. Well, I don't know if you were planning to do anything else early in the morning.
I was knocking out walls, wasn't I? For a
You were
bathroom?
working on your bathroom.
I guess I'll work on that some more and
Okay.
demo some
About
stuff.
10 o'clock, your phone goes off. It's a text message from Dela saying that she would like to meet with you at her house at 11 a.m.
Okay.
You've been texting.
You gonna reply yes?
I'm just gonna put okay.
Okay. Bunk. Now I know you're probably asleep.
Yeah.
You've been sleeping in. You know, your phone goes zzz, 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 and it's a text message from Dela.
Okay.
It says, "Meet at my place at 11 a.m." Question mark.
Too early.
It's really important, is what it says.
That's all you said about.
The thinking emoji pops up.
Yeah. Dot 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 dot. Keeps going. Yeah.
Okay, I guess.
Okay. Cool. And so then, yeah. Darwin, what were you doing this morning? Were you planning to sleep in? Get up kind of medium early? What?
I think medium early, that sounds fine.
Maybe 10 o'clock?
Yeah, that sounds actually real good.
Okay. 10 o'clock, you probably get up, start reloading your gun, because I know you...
Yeah, I've written on everything.
Yeah, so
I know
you're
what we're
reloading, re-enchanting these. You just finished maybe doing this about 30 minutes or something like that, and you realize there's a text message on your phone. It's been there for about 30 minutes, because you probably didn't have that back there in the thaumaturgy lab, because that might fry your phone, and you know better than that. And it says, "Hey, I need you to meet me at my house today at 11 a.m. It's from Dela.
She has a cell phone?
It's a little odd. She does. She's a couple, actually.
Yeah.
She actually has a couple of them.
It's like a Nokia brick.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Those things work through anything. She's probably texting
How
underwater.
much typing did she do?
Yeah.
And it's working really well because apparently
Yeah. Oh my
it
God, I remember that.
successfully
It's
texted
terrible.
4 people.
Yeah.
It's a little weird.
Just kind of stare at it for a moment. I was like, today is supposed to be a personal day. Send back. Why?
It's really important. Something's come up.
What?
I can't tell you over the phone. It's important.
This makes me want to go even less.
You're thinking, well, maybe she's a little worried about texting a lot on her phone. It might crap out on her and die, you know?
All right.
Okay. Cool. Right. Jody, you finished the thing. I guess you're heading where after this? Probably home to maybe bury the items under concrete or something like that.
No, I was going to reach out to the White Council.
Okay. How are you going to do that?
I don't know.
Well, no, actually, you have a phone number.
Yeah, I know.
And the
Anyway.
landline works.
So yeah. I was gonna head home.
So you
Or
hop a
I was
bus.
gonna head to call them.
Right. You
I don't
hop
like
a bus. It's about 11 o'clock when you get to your house. Are the rest of you showing up at 11 a.m.?
Yeah, I'm gonna swing by a taco truck and just get like a big
Right.
buttload of tacos.
Rest of you?
I mean,
Yeah.
I will try. I
Okay.
mean,
The
You blearily come in with your big cup of coffee.
Yes.
You're rolling up. You probably got, you finished reloading your gun, so you're good.
No, I'm looking at my text message going, why is she
No, you don't see
happy
any.
about a taco in a truck?
That's the
Like,
text.
I
Oh.
was messaged. I was messaged
Yeah.
that.
I sent back that text to whoever sent me the text, so
Ah.
I don't know where
No
it went.
reply. No reply. Yeah, there's no reply. Oh, well, no, you probably get a thumbs up emoji back, actually.
I like tacos,
Okay.
but I just
Like,
don't.
oh,
Um,
she's
Kyle,
living.
you-
I'm gonna
Cool.
park a block down from where
Yeah.
she's at and kind of enter
Surreptitiously?
Jeez.
That too.
I'm
Sneakily.
having a stroke over here. Yeah.
All right.
stroke of serendipity.
Yeah, serendipity. All right. You go walking up to your front porch and you notice that a black, what's your car's name?
Oh,
Paula?
Impala.
Yeah.
Black Impala has just pulled up about a block down the street. I know, right? And you see Volt get out, which is kind of weird. Miranda is walking down the street from the opposite direction. Bunks coming across the street, and you're.
Do I
pulls
start
up in
to
front
see
of your house.
them all converging?
Yeah, which is kind of weird.
I
Well,
have-
Am I outside my house or
yes,
inside?
you're walking towards your house,
And everyone's kind of
converging at the same time.
I'm stopping. I'm just stopping where I am.
hmm
I think I'm back up
I
even.
need an alertness check from everybody.
Because this is not normal. This is
I'm
abnormal.
just holding a giant bag full of tacos, and I'm like, oh, I didn't bring enough for everybody.
Oh no!
This is just
I noticed
enough
everybody
for
was
me,
going.
I got
Oh,
a
dang.
tree.
Okay.
I also got 3.
Okay.
Can you go negative?
Yes.
Negative one.
We're actually rolling for it.
Yeah. Alertness check. Yeah. It's not combat. It's noticing something.
I got a 4.
Okay. If you got a 3 or higher, you notice that there's somebody sitting on Dela's front porch.
it's the devil man with a cell phone.
No, actually not. There's a guy. He's you can't really see him because your porch is kind of deep because it wants to be shadowed because it's hot out. And you've got a little set of chairs and a table between them, and there's a guy sitting in the chair nearest to the door into your little house. And so he's sitting there.
Oh.
I had already as I saw them all coming, I took 2 steps back.
Right. You can look closer.
At him?
Yeah.
Well, first I'm gonna look and see them. Like, what are
Yeah.
y'all doing here? And then I'm gonna look at him.
Mm-hmm.
You invited us? I sent an emoji. You replied
No, you
with an
didn't say
emoji.
anything.
I yeah, but I didn't know why. I thought you were just being nice and bringing me some tacos.
No, you didn't see the taco emoji or anything. It did not come to you because she sent it back to the number that said Dela Fontenot. Right.
I just sent it in the group
I
yeah.
chat to represent.
We're gonna need that, so
I'm
it's
sorry,
okay.
Never mind.
Yeah, you
I
haven't
did
seen
not
it. No.
see- Okay. Okay, so then, yeah, I would have stopped and said, "What are they doing here?" And
Yeah.
then I'll know. I'll see.
There's a guy sitting. Oh, there's a shadowy figure.
Can I? Is he out of the shadow enough that I can see who it is?
Yeah. It's a gentleman. You really can't see his face because again, he's kind of shadowed under your porch. He's got his arms resting on something like this, right by your door. For all intents and purposes, you're pretty sure it's a broadsword.
Ooh. Cool.
Oh, can
You
I-
don't see that it's shiny, so it must
Samurai.
still be sheathed. But he's just resting his chin on it like
What kind of clothes
this.
is he wearing?
A suit.
A suit.
You can't really see much about him besides that he's wearing dark clothes, so it's probably a suit or something like that. You do see that there's like the sparkle of what looks like a tie tack at maybe his throat. So
Can
there's a
I-
glint of metal on one of his arms too.
I like this guy already.
Okay.
Is he hiring?
I was like, who's your friend?
Can I help you?
Well, you haven't gotten up there. You stopped, and there you guys are still out in the street. So I mean,
okay,
if you're
alright.
you're far enough that if you wanted to, you could always run away. I
I'm
mean,
gonna-
you're not close to him yet.
I'm gonna start walking forward, and I'm gonna say,
Same.
"Why are you guys here?"
We
You
I
told us to
got a
come.
text.
I didn't text anybody.
I told you I didn't want to come, but you told me to come.
I told you it was too early.
I
You
didn't
didn't
text
explicitly say, but
anybody.
I got the vibe you were hungry from the text. So, like,
I literally hand the biggest texter my phone. Oh,
Yeah, that's how they
Yeah, you can't prove jack.
No, because look, zzz,
I mean, it's
I'll go down.
Phones die. Nobody can show anybody anything.
because I'm out.
Damn it! Another one.
All right, look, just you guys hang here, and then if I look like I'm in trouble,
I think
I'm
I'd
gonna-
like to meet this man.
I'm
I'm gonna
gonna
go up
watch-
with you.
I'll go with you.
Okay.
or just come
I'll
with
make
me.
it
You
clear.
guys gonna hang back?
Come
You guys gonna hang back?
on. All right.
You start walking towards
Can I
the
help?
porch.
At this point, I'm
Well,
gonna
you
say,
start
"Can I
walking
help
towards
you?"
the porch. Before you say anything, he actually stands up, and you realize that the sword that he's got, he actually had it kicked to the side. This is a full-size two-handed sword, and it literally, he takes it and he kind of, you notice that he swings it around and buckles it behind his back. I guess he was resting his chin on it while he was waiting, and so he stands up. It's a gentleman. He's wearing glasses. He's got grayish, silvery hair, a long beard and mustache. I mean, pretty significant beard and mustache. He is wearing a dark suit, and you notice that he's got a metal gauntlet on one arm, and then one of the shoulder, I think it's a pauldron that's on. The picture of this gentleman is right here.
Bruh.
Oh, pretty cool.
Stately, elderly man carrying a two-handed sword and wearing medieval armor on one hand, on one shoulder. And as you walk up, he goes, "Warden Fontenot?" And he's got this really nice, rich voice.
Yes, I am. I
He-
hear you.
He walks up,
texted
sticks his
everyone.
hand out, and he says, "Warden Elias Dupree." At which point you see now that he's got this little short cloak that he's got kind of wrapped tight around him. It's hot. He really doesn't want it close to him, but he reaches out and shakes your hand, and he says, "Volt Kruger."
Yeah, I shake his hand.
Okay.
But I do like the test of strength thing. I'm not gonna crush his hand,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I wanna size him up a little bit.
Hey, well, I mean, he's strong, but he's not superhumanly strong.
Okay.
You can tell that this guy,
Good to know.
he's a strong guy. He's got a good grip, probably from wielding swords a lot.
he also shakes your hand with his gauntlet.
Yeah, right. yeah, that is true. He does actually, and then he goes, "Marissa, the current holder of the Miranda." He goes, "Miranda, the current Knight of the Cross in New Orleans, correct?"
I shift the bag of tacos into my sword hand and be like,
He shakes your hand,
Yeah.
and I assume that you are. One of you is Bunk, and the other one is Darwin.
We get them mixed up all the time too.
I'm just imagining he's like saying that, pointing out at us, because I'm not up there with you guys. No.
Well, that's what he is. He's pointing out at you two. Which is
Are
who?
they close enough to hear?
Yeah, well, yeah, you guys
Oh,
can
yeah.
hear. Yeah.
I imagine it's kind of like, when someone's standing on the street and you're yelling from your porch. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's
and
kinda-
you're,
He doesn't seem to be having any trouble making himself being heard either. So yeah.
Those are just neighborhood kids.
I'm Darwin.
And he steps and he says, "Well, don't be afraid. Come on forward." And he says, "Like to shake your hand."
Big sword.
So I'm not going to use it
This
on you
is
unless you want me
Literally a
to.
cloak and dagger situation.
Yeah, he looks at you and he says, "I'm not going to use it on you unless you want me to," which I'm not sure
Cloak
why
and
that would be a
dagger.
reason.
No, don't want that.
That's early.
No.
Big sword.
Well, shake my hand. All right.
All right, yep.
When you shake his hand, well, all of you do, except for, of course, you two, you get this, spark. He's obviously a practitioner. And he says, "Warden Dupree, I'm in charge of the Mississippi and Louisiana region of the White Council. You have never heard that anybody was above you, Jody. You were pretty much, because, the wardens had been kind of killed by the Red Court vampires, and they were kind of on the low end of the ebb, and so you had been sent to New Orleans, and you really didn't have a whole lot of backup. The nearest warden you knew of was this guy named Wild Bill, who's out in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? And then that's pretty much it. There's a few of them in the Northeast. There's Warden Dresden that's up in Chicago, but there really aren't that many wardens. Ramirez, I think, is out in charge of California, Washington. He's got like a 3-state area that he's in charge of. So there really aren't many wardens. Yeah, he's got a lot of territory to cover. So he says, "Well, would you mind if we went inside?"
Yeah.
You would mind if we went inside?
Yeah.
You're gonna make us stand out there. It's hot. You realize that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine. Well, don't invite me in.
Explain to me when I've never heard of the Mississippi Louisiana White
Right.
Council.
Um,
I'm the only one here.
correct. Which is why I came out of retirement. Because I'm sure you know, we're short on wardens right now. We've got a lot of younger wardens. I had retired from being a warden, which you're like, you get to retire from being a wizard? How old do you have to be to retire from being a wizard? Which tells you this guy may be really old.
Well, do you think a letter or maybe contacting me first before you send text to people that I'm working with randomly?
I wanted to meet your team. You obviously have done an excellent job in rooting out the necromancers and destroying them.
Whoa,
Yes.
whoa, whoa! Who said we're a team?
But
Well, you've been working together, is what I've heard.
Well,
Okay.
sure, but
we're a team. These guys,
we just happen to be in the area.
they're like, we're a
Team.
team. They're
I still don't know
entertaining.
why I'm here.
You know, he's
Too
always
early.
like, oh, another lunch, another popcorn moment.
He says, I've also brought something so that it'll be a little easier for you to contact me from now on. He reaches kind of up under his cloak, and everybody kind of stiffens a bit, and he pulls out what, for all intents and purposes, looks like a silver, I don't know, loving cup like you would get as an award for taking first place. And he hands it to you, and he says, this is a scrying cup. If you need to get in touch with me, fill it with any liquid. Water's fine.
Blood.
That's what in my mind I'm thinking blood.
He looks at you and he says, please don't use blood.
Oh, did you say that out loud?
Probably.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
He says, I wouldn't use coffee because it makes the image kind of jittery. And he goes, love that joke.
Oh no.
Both with his coffee, not amused.
I thought he was evil, but it's worse. He's corny.
Yeah, that's right. He is. And so he hands you the cup and he says, you can use it to scry me and reach me directly. No matter where I am, I will be able to take your call or your message so that if you need any backup or help, we can help you. Obviously, New Orleans is a very dangerous place. Captain Lucio didn't realize how dangerous it was when she sent you down here. And you need people who can come to your help.
Yes, I agree.
Says, so can we go inside now? It's really hot. And how do you put up with this cloak in this freaking humidity?
Because I've grown up in it. And
Like
yes,
November though.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
I was like, wait until August.
Yeah.
Oh, dear Lord. Because, right, it's November. It's actually
This is
He's
a
not
great part of the year.
It
This
is still
amazing.
hot.
He looks at you and he says, oh my gosh.
we're chilly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Like that, you like
One of
it.
those
He
random
How
says-
can you not be
warm
wearing
November days.
which makes him even more suspicious.
Well, no, he's wearing a suit. He is wearing a three-piece suit with the whole, vest
That
and
in
everything.
itself
So
is
it is
suspicious,
hot.
but well, I'm gonna say, well, in the future, please refrain from contacting my team
Of course.
individually. Thank you.
Well, I did want them all together for one particular reason, and he says, if you wouldn't mind, and he reaches and he grabs this pin, and it's like a little silver staff, looks like a wizard's staff. As Warden Fontenot, I hereby formally invest you as Warden of the City of New Orleans under the command of Warden Dupree, who is in charge of the southeast area. And he reaches over and pins it to your cloak. You've seen some of the wardens wearing these. So this seems kind of legit. He says, if you ever lose this pin, we will know and can send someone in to assist you, because if you lose the pin, we know you're in trouble.
Okay.
If the pin is ever destroyed, again, we know you're in trouble, and we will move everyone we can to try and help you and assist you.
Okay.
He says, also,
Before you finish,
yeah,
did you want to go inside?
well, I would like to. It is kind of hot
Alright,
out here.
I'm gonna unlock the door and
Okay.
open it.
Now, he does not ask to be invited in, okay? Which means that he's leaving a lot of his power at the door, Okay, you don't have a really strong threshold, but he is not asking to be invited in. So that means
I'm
he's
gonna
going to
say,
Yeah.
come on in.
Okay, so you come on in, and he says, "Well, look, would you like some tea? Do you have stuff for tea? I have stuff for tea. Would you like some
I
tea?"
look at the teapot.
Miranda starts crying.
Like, just,
he reaches on underneath this cloak. He keeps pulling stuff out from underneath the cloak, and he pulls out this little leather satchel. It's a merce. Okay, yeah. And he says, "Here." He puts it out on the table and opens it and reaches in and pulls out a steaming pot of tea and then 6 cups. And he says, "I assume Earl Grey is fine."
Sure, Mary Poppins.
And he says, "Wait until you see what else I pull out of here." And so he starts pouring the tea, and he hands you each a cup of tea.
being from the South, this is not what I thought when he said tea, but I'll take it.
Say,
Iced tea. I forget.
Sweet.
Sweet. Oh, you do get the idea that this guy is not from this area. He may be from.
Yeah, where are you from?
Well,
You're not from around
originally,
here, yeah.
originally hail from the UK. The British Isles.
Okay.
He doesn't have any kind of accent, which he says. But like I said, I was retired. I kind of retired to Ireland, was doing a bit of magical research, and the White Council called. And so, how can you refuse a call by the White Council? As you know, you really can't. Speaking of, and you are welcome to refuse this, if either one of you is interested in formal training so that you can become full-fledged wizards at some point, please, you are more than welcome to contact me. I would be happy to take either one of you as apprentices and maybe continue your training to help you fully realize your abilities, whatever they may be.
Interesting proposal.
Anyone who assists a warden in the performing of her duly appointed duties obviously deserves consideration by the White Council. You know that there's some good people on the White Council. You know there's also some really big jerks on the White Council, so you're a little surprised that they're offering to do this. But hey, this guy may be just a really nice fellow. And you also know that you got the last warden sword by Captain Lucio, so maybe she sent this guy, I mean, you were the last one to get a magical sword from anybody, so there you go. Before she lost the ability. So he sips his tea and he says, "Now, do you have any questions for me?"
Are you Merlin?
No. No, not at all. Actually, the person who leads the White Council is known as the Merlin, but he's not the Merlin. The Merlin has, unfortunately, long since passed from this plane of existence, though he may not potentially be dead.
Is Santa Claus a wizard?
Ooh, better question.
I'm really not allowed to explain Santa Claus. He's not
Above our pay grade.
He's not. Well, no, he just asked me not to tell anyone who he really was.
That's good.
He is Santa Claus.
I still trust him.
He
breaks into your
Santa,
house.
though.
I'm sorry, I know him on a
Temper
personal level, and it feels kind of wrong to divulge
Just kind of out him
information.
like this. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Well,
I have a question, if you don't mind, real quick. You said that if she loses the badge thing, then someone can come. Well, how do we define lose? Like, if it's just off her person, is like a distance thing? If she throws it on the ground, is someone just magically going to come? I'm just curious.
Right, it's a good question. It's if it's removed forcibly from her warden cloak, is what it is. That's a good question.
Okay.
If somebody ripped her warden cloak off, then it could potentially be lost. If someone destroyed her warden cloak, which is a pretty good trick because they are pretty resilient, and wound up destroying the pin, then yes.
I see.
The White Council will be alerted. Yes. Specifically.
I'm sure this will never happen. But
We'll hope not.
what if she lost the cloak?
Well, assuming the pin is attached to it, then yes. Probably the White Council will be I would be alerted, and I would, of course, tell the White Council and say that we have a warden in trouble and we need to do what we can to assist her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just curious.
The whole organization thing kind of has got me befuddled.
Right.
So you're over Mississippi and Louisiana?
It is the Panhandle of Florida, yes.
And the Panhandle. Okay.
Basically the Gulf Coast region,
Gulf
but
Coast.
not including the little part of Florida that sticks down. Yes.
They're weird down there. Okay. And so she reports to you.
Correct.
And you report to.
The White Council.
So.
Why not Alabama?
I don't know. I think they have another warden who's going to be taking Alabama, Georgia, and then the Carolinas.
Okay.
Alabama refuses to have anything to do with Mississippi.
Yeah.
They're lost.
They
And
don't need a
So
war.
is there like there's a bunch of
They
like.
have a number
So
one
who's over
college
like
football
Texas and?
Well,
Oklahoma?
Texas, I know, is under Wild Bill, but we're trying to get wardens back in place over the entire United States, so that if there is a problem, people, the paranetters, of course, are able to. Which, when you hear paranetter, that was something that was kind of below the radar of the White Council, and he's mentioned something you're kind of like, wait, paranetters? He knows about the paranet? That's a little creepy. He says, well, I don't specifically personally use the paranet because no computer's going to work around me. He says, but we're trying to set up a network of wardens across the entire United States to keep people safe. So, yeah.
So. So New Orleans had. So she's.
Is in charge of New Orleans, right?
So is there like someplace in charge of like say Jackson, Mississippi,
Yeah, Jackson's pretty quiet, actually, so.
like Dallas?
Yeah, Wild Bill handles Dallas, Fort Worth
But he didn't
area.
have anybody working for him.
We're trying to get him some other young wardens who can maybe help him. Texas is a big place. We'd like to have a warden stationed in the Austin, Houston, San Antonio area. We just don't have anybody who's ready to handle that yet. Again, most of our wardens got killed in at Archangel when the Red Court vampires attacked and killed almost everybody. We were down to about 30 wardens at that point.
Wow.
We're back up to around 100, but they're young. A lot of them are in their 20s. They're not ready to handle this. Your character's kind of in the mid-20s, so you're actually reasonably young, but you're old for a lot of the wardens. So yeah. He says, but yeah, that's pretty much it. And I report directly to Ebenezer McCoy, just to let you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like that name. Ebenezer McCoy.
It's very melodic.
You know, Jody, that Ebenezer McCoy is a member of the White Council, the leadership of the White Council. He's old enough to possibly be Merlin. You know that he was the one who trained Warden Dresden and taught him to be a wizard.
Mm-hmm.
From the Dresden
Wizard
Files.
Dresden.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dresden Files, right? Yeah.
Well, then I was going to contact the White Council today anyway.
Right.
We had a bit of business last night.
Right. So tell me about it. And so he sips his tea. I know some of the details. I know that there
Where
were.
did you hear the details from?
Well, I know that some information from around the city that there were a couple of necromancers who were destroyed, but I don't know, and I know that they were involved in some kind of nefarious deeds in the French Quarter, but I don't really know much more than that. Well, and I know your names because, as we all know, people talk.
And how much do you know about us?
Your names, that's about it. Yeah.
Good.
So yeah, there were a couple necromancers. Well, primarily a woman who was a necromancer, and she had a pretty powerful apprentice under her, and they were grooming a future adept or apprentice to work with them.
And you executed all of them.
Yes. Well, I executed the woman and the man.
Good.
The little younger apprentice one had been working in the
Yeah.
I guess lackey the better
Not even a
word.
prince.
Sucks. He says, sucks to be a lackey.
Yeah. He was like the guard of the St. Louis Cemetery,
Oh, dear. You
and
probably had to clean the latrines and sweep off the graves, too. That sounds like
yeah.
not any
Anyway, he's since
Rent a
been
necromancer.
fun. Right.
he's
Right.
since been let go by the church that had hired him,
Right.
and
He worked for the church.
well, he didn't. He technically, I mean, he wasn't a priest or anything.
Well, no.
He's just a guy who the church paid to,
Right.
Well,
Well, generally the priest, the church tends to be pretty unable to be swayed by the powers of necromancy and things like that.
Yeah, they were very.
They're generally made
surprised
of
and
sterner
shocked
stuff.
to
Yes.
find out about that.
Right.
Anyway, so
He smiles at you at that point. You know. Yeah.
as we anyway, long story short, the church also provided us with some police support, and it was a lot. There was a lot more it was a harder battle than we were expecting to have, and they had
Necromancers
some
are nasty.
pretty powerful tools, and but yeah, I killed a man and a woman, and then
Well, the way necromancers normally work is that they raise up undead souls and either manipulate them or devour them, depending on what time it is. And if they devour these souls, they can eventually become more and more powerful to the point where they can potentially ascend and become almost godlike in their abilities. If you remember a few years ago, Warden Dresden put down a necromantic uprising in Chicago, fortunately, but it was pretty dangerous stuff. Mm-hmm. You didn't happen to get any of their items or recover any of the items that they were using for these spells?
yes, that's what I was going to call the White Council about what to do with these items. I have a sacred obsidian dagger, found a crystal wand, there was a burial shroud, a skull ring, and some kind of like really gross cloak.
Do you mind if I see them?
No, I was going to give him the council anyway, so.
He looks at the skull ring and he says, "Oh, this is just a crutch to kind of help you do spells. It's not terribly useful for anyone but the actual practitioner." And he puts it down on the ground, stomps it, and it goes and squashes. You know, it's like pewter or something like that.
For a second, I thought you were like, "Oh, this is just some, pulp or punk accessories."
Yeah, right. So, and he says, he takes up the wand and he says, again, another accessory that looks like it was used by the actual practitioner, and he snaps it in half, and no weird smoke or, ghostly presences. He goes, but these are pretty worthless. And he picks them up and puts them in the middle of your, coffee table. And he takes a look at the shroud and he says, Now, this is interesting. This is actually an invested item. It could be used, it looks like some form of protective magic is woven into it. And he says, that's interesting. Should be pretty easy to destroy. And he looks at the black cloak and says, same thing here, minor protective magic. I expect between you three, you should be able to unravel it pretty easily. And then he looks at the dagger and he says, "Oh, now this, where did they get a hold of this? This is real." And he starts looking at it and he says, "I think this may be maybe South American. I think this is real." And he says, "Yeah, there's a lot of really nasty energies swirling around this thing. If I may, I would like to take this back to the White Council so that someone a little better at manipulating items can take a look at it and possibly unravel it. That's going to be a bit out of my range."
Yeah, sounds good. Oh, and I almost forgot. This book of necromantic arts.
Oh,
it may just be a diary. I don't know. I haven't had time. We finished the battle late last night. I was at the police station this morning, so I haven't really had time to
he says,
look
"Well,
at anything."
sure. I'll take it and make sure it's put in a. You can probably burn it if you want to. I mean, it's not magical or anything."
Okay.
And then you notice he kind of does this, and you realize he's been using his wizard sight, which is a little creepy because that means he's had a chance to look at all of you with his wizard sight.
What does that mean for us?
Wow.
Anything?
Wizard sight allows you to kind of see what someone looks like, their abilities, their innermost being. So, like in the
So
books,
you can tell that.
I'm a dragon.
probably knows you're a dragon.
I squint my eyes at him.
And he probably, he would know that you're a practitioner. He would probably see you as a jazz musician. Maybe you're through wizard sight. You're probably holding a trombone. He probably sees you as a guy with a bunch of, little monocles and stuff like that, where you actually are manipulating.
So we have like avatars, like I like.
Right, kind of, yeah. That's exactly like in the Dresden Files when Harry
awesome.
looks at Murph, the cop that he's hanging out with, he sees her as like an angel with a glowing halo of light, but her wings, her wings and her robes are kind of tattered. And no, they're not tattered. Excuse me. They're kind of dirty because, well, she's had to see some pretty terrible things as a policewoman, and so that's what he sees her as. And actually, at one point, she does pick up one of the swords of the cross and wields it. But so he probably knows that you're, a knight of the cross or something like that. So not anything more than superficial. He would probably know you're a dragon.
Would
or
they
something.
know that he'd done that?
I don't think we.
No, probably the rest of you wouldn't know. Only Jody, you might really realize what he's doing. You might not even realize it at all. But yeah, you would know. Okay, Jody, the only way he would be able to actually see the stuff around the knife and things like that is if he opened his wizard sight.
I know.
So that's the thing. You figure he probably did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The rest of you would have no
He's
idea.
very brushed up on his, Mesoamerican,
Yeah. Yeah.
He's pretty old, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's from England. He's probably, more like flint knives would be his thing, not obsidian knives. There you
So,
go.
He's like Giles.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Giles, but older.
So-
Yeah.
The old Van Helsing.
Yeah.
So it'd be even
Sorry,
creepier if he
go.
hooked up with our mom.
do you want to pass out the tacos now so we can eat?
Oh yeah. So there's only enough for like 2 for everybody. There was gonna be enough for like 12 of us each, but that's fine. I'm fine sharing. We can go out again for food later.
Actually, Dupree says that he will pass on the tacos. His stomach, as old as he is a little touchy on some things. So, but he says they smell wonderful.
Authentic street food from New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm a little more. I'm a little more used to perhaps milder flavors being from the UK. So, which you're like,
You
yeah,
came to the
Got it.
wrong place.
right. You're coming to New Orleans, and wow,
Oh,
you are gonna have some tummy
Stick
troubles.
with McDonald's, and
Right.
Burger King.
Right, steak. Yeah, and not even blackened steaks. Just go with the regular
You
stuff.
can order
right?
Jaffa cakes on Amazon.
Yeah.
I don't know if
So he
Amazon
says,
can-
I'm going to tell him. So I've come across somebody who I think could become a wizard, who has great potential to be a wizard eventually.
Oh,
I was going to just kind of take her under my wing and, kind of teach her some stuff.
Absolutely.
Or would you want something different to be
no,
done?
no, go right ahead.
Okay.
Wizards need apprentices. I don't have one currently because obviously I just came out of retirement. But if you ever are in need of some, furthering of your education, let me know. We won't call you apprentices. You guys are much more powerful than that. But lackeys. He laughs and says, "Just kidding, just kidding."
And we also this
Students.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
This young lady who I'm gonna make an apprentice. She has an older brother who is gifted, but he totally denies he has any abilities. I mean, staunchly, just he thinks it's ridiculous.
Keep working on it. I'll leave that up to you, Warden Fontenot. That's up to your judgment. You're in charge of New Orleans, so I leave that to your capable hands.
Okay. Do I have to apprise you of missions or stuff, or
No.
am I still just doing my thing?
But if you need anything, you have the silver jar, so let me know for sure.
Gotcha.
He says, "Well, this has been thoroughly enlightening and pleasant. I have enjoyed meeting all of you. And again, the offer stands. Just let me know. And Warden Fontenot, it was a pleasure to invest you formally as Warden of New Orleans.
Thank you. It was nice to meet you as
Volt
well.
and Miranda, truly a pleasure." He sticks his hands out and shakes your hands and stuff like that. And he says, "I will be on my way. I will need to head back to the White Council. Let's see. I'll have to think about where the nearest way through the Never Never is. Probably need to head towards maybe one of the ley lines in the area. You wouldn't happen to have a ley line map, would you?"
Well, anyway, yes, I
I
would.
pull out my map.
Actually, you do.
Were you mad for Leyline too?
I was just
She had a
mapping
tourist
weird
map.
shit around town.
You didn't have any ley lines, Myra.
Connected,
Flip it over.
Because Dela's been.
Yeah.
I'm like comparing.
Researching
I
my
made you a ley line map
Thank
today.
you.
That's what
Nice.
we were working on today. Yeah.
Seeing if there's any.
He kind of looks at your ley line map and he says, I think probably the Superdome would have a really good area of entrance to the Never Never, and that would probably take me close to where I want to be. He says, well, I will hop a bus to the Superdome, and I will let me know if you need anything.
All right. Thank you very much.
He tips his head, hat to, well, he doesn't have a hat, he tips his head to you, and heads towards the door, heads on out, big sword across his back. You do notice as he gets further from your house, the sword seems to kind of fade out of existence, maybe like he's throwing up a veil or something like that to hide it. And he heads down the street, and almost on command, it seems like, a bus shows up right at the end of your street, and you're like, oh, it is, every 15 minutes, so yeah, that's about time for it. He hops on the bus and says something to the bus driver, and off they whisk.
These lines, the further they go out, do they eventually converge?
Possibly.
I'm gonna lay my map over this and see if the spot that Lafitte burnt in Lake Pontchartrain is where the slots converge.
It is.
What? I knew I had something.
That's great.
It
That's
is.
great.
You're like, what?
I'm like, I knew it.
I knew it. There's something
I knew
there.
I did something here.
Where the treasure is.
That's right. That's where Lafitte's treasure is. Ooh. That,
Oh.
but Volt goes, treasure? What?
Yes.
What?
Next episode, Bolt learns how to scuba dive.
That's exactly right.
Yes.
What?
Hopefully he doesn't use his lightning breath while doing
Ooh,
so.
in the water? Ooh, that might be bad. Yeah, you'll be fine. The rest of you may not be so good.
Actually, don't know.
So what are the rest of you going to do? You probably finish your tacos, hang around Dela's. Kind of interesting to meet one of
Has
the...
Dupree already left?
Yes, he left. He hopped a bus and he's headed... as far as you know, he probably hasn't left the city yet. He's still got to get down to the Superdome, is where he said.
I'm gonna poke Dela and be like, I think you should vet this guy.
Oh, I was gonna
Yeah,
ask
don't
him
really
to
trust
tell
him.
Santa something.
Yeah.
I would tell you, I would love to vet him some more. But seriously, we don't have very many wardens.
You could call the White
Are there
Council. You do have a
records?
phone number and you have a passcode that you could use to call the White Council to make sure he's legit.
No, yeah, I know. But I mean, as far as like
Yeah.
seeking out lots of people for him.
Yeah, I
There's
just want to
not.
make sure he's not evil.
Do you want to give him a call?
Sure, I'll
I
call.
mean,
They're on
Jason,
notice.
yeah.
You punch in the number.
Is my phone working again?
Well, no, it's no, no, it's not actually.
Smacked it.
You have to use your landline if you
Okay.
want to really do it. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. The moment he was like, "Yeah, you have a phone number," and the landline works, the first thing I imagine is like you go in there, pull a little candle, the thing like moves. You're like, you have a special White Council phone.
Like the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a normal phone. You dial rotary phone because those work pretty. Okay. It rings about 8 times, and finally someone picks up. Sounds like a young man, and he says, "Yes, Warden Fontenot in the New Orleans area. What is your passcode?"
I have no idea.
Yes, you do. It's written on the card. Your
Oh.
passcode says moon and stars.
Never mind. It was on the back of this card. I didn't even look at it. Moon and stars. Just a
And
minute.
somebody is penciled in underneath it in green clovers.
Moon, stars, and green clovers. Isn't that Lucky Charms cereal?
When you say that, the guy on the other end goes, "Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Lucky Charms, thanks." And you're like, "What?" And he says, "Wait, so somebody really had penciled it in there?
Yes.
You're under Warden Dupree, aren't you?"
Yes.
Am I?
And he sighs and
So
says,
he says, is this true?
"Huh?
Or so he says, is this true?
Yes, Warden Dupree has come out of retirement from the UK and Ireland region. He was doing magical research for us and has been assigned the southeast area of the United States because we are short on wardens. He says it's a temporary assignment that he wants to go back into retirement as soon as possible.
Okay.
He's going around to all the wardens in the area, which I think there may be one other warden in the Florida area. I'm not at liberty. I don't. I'd have to look up the name of that person.
Is he giving out pins as
Yes,
well?
these are because of the things that have happened with wardens being attacked. We wanted to make sure that if something did happen to any of the current wardens, we were able to do what we could to save them. And so he says all wardens are being issued a silver pin that looks like a wizard's staff to let us know if they're in danger.
Okay.
He also gave you the silver cup.
Yes.
Right. That's to be used to contact him at any time. It can be used to contact senior members of the council if you know the correct incantation. But right now it is linked primarily to Dupree, so.
Can I get the correct incantation?
Oh, for
or you
Dupree,
do
you just fill it
later?
with water and
Okay.
stare into it, and you'll be able to see him, and he'll see you. He told you the joke about the coffee, didn't he?
Yes.
He's so corny.
I mean, honestly, I'm liking him more and more. I really
Secretly, so is Dela, but she's not going to let anybody know. She doesn't want to be known as the weirdo warden yet.
Miranda full on
Hey,
openly just
whenever
accepts
you
and trusts
whenever you
this guy.
take his spot, you will
I
be.
mean,
You know,
that's
just
suspicious
roll
of
right
him,
in
but
there.
he sent an emoji back in the text. Bad guys don't use emojis.
Well, actually, he probably didn't send any of that because he can't really use a smartphone.
Yeah, so yeah.
Somebody had to
Yeah,
do
we
it
should
for
have-
him.
yeah,
He subcontracted that out.
Yeah.
That's right, he had to. But he was smart enough to do that, so there you go.
Who have I been talking to?
Wait, so then what's your call sign?
is long.
Hers says Dela Fontenot, right. But whatever the number...
Oh, you were just using his call sign. Okay. I got you.
Well, whoever was... When it was coming up on your phone is Dela Fontenot. So whoever it was mashing...
No, I was
oh.
talking about the moon and stars as Dupree's. I was saying, what is hers then?
No, hers is Moon and Stars when she calls the White Council, and then somebody had written green clovers underneath it in pencil, just to be funny.
I got you.
Lots of golden rainbows and the red balloons.
I did not remember that.
Yeah.
It's my
When you
favorite
say
thing.
that in the background, the guy on the phone goes, "Oh my gosh, just because I grew up in Ireland doesn't mean I'm a freaking leprechaun." And you hear slam, and the phone goes down on the other end.
Oops. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Anyway. So, what's next?
I need a gun.
You need a gun!
We did talk about that.
Yeah,
I remember
I
that.
want
Was,
I want my battle duster.
How are we going to make you a battle duster? What are we going to do?
Don't remember because it's been a while. But we
Right.
were talking about making a battle duster. So I get like, and I tried to look up the armor stuff, but you know,
Right. You would need to find someone who could, or he would need to make you something that could, because remember he made you armor before,
yes,
and it got used up, right? So he would need to
it doesn't have to necessarily be magical, but just I
right.
think there was like level 3 armor.
Well, that would be like full riot gear. You couldn't wear that in public, not without being really
my
conspicuous.
my overalls are level 3 armor.
Yeah. Well, but that's because they're magical.
Yeah,
right,
that's because they're magical.
But he could probably make you a battle duster that's got some reinforced stuff just with regular.
I was thinking the armor 3 riot gear. I've got a trunk,
Well, okay, yeah, but the
something I
problem
can just.
the problem's going to be actually finding that for sale. He's going to probably have to make it for you, which is going to take a little while, not
I
too
do
long,
have contacts.
right? And if you want, but a battle duster, he could also kind of reinforce it with Kevlar and some things like that, maybe some metal weave, and that he could do that for you too, because he's good at making stuff like that. But it wouldn't be
I
magical.
can
every
actually,
day.
because if it's not magical, just straight craftsmanship.
You're the
Gotcha.
guy. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could do that for sure, but he'd have to start working on it. Is what it is.
If
You'd
it
have
was
to
a
spend
car
some-
and truck, even better.
Yeah, that's right.
A battle truck.
You'll have to talk to him about that. Yeah. So
So like for real, like I could get 4 minuses and still rock a 4 if it's a car or a truck.
wow. So you're
Pretty
going to
impressive.
discuss with him about maybe getting some riot gear armor to put in the trunk of your car, and then a duster that's maybe lined, maybe armor 2.
Armor 2, yeah.
Right. And what are the rest of you doing? So you're sitting in Dela's front room talking about armor ideas, and he's kind of you probably got your tape measure you've taken out, and you're taking measurements of him, and oh my god, how am I going to get this fit around your bicep kind of thing?
I'm going to collect the badges so I can re-up them because I think they used up
They're-
everything.
No, they're good for a week, dear. You just can only use them once per session,
Oh.
and then they
okay, never mind.
recharge. So yeah. Yeah, they're good. They're ready to go again, ready to rock and roll. At the end of this week, which, since you set them up to last a week and we've only been playing for a week in game time, they're going to last forever. So, yeah, next 10 sessions. So,
Having discovered the location of Lafitte's treasure, I'm now copying the ley lines onto my map.
it's okay. That's
And
fine.
just being like,
That's
there's
fine.
something else here. I just know it.
I imagine
You
at this
know-
point though, you have to be using a highlighter because you marked that thing up all kinds of crazy
Tons
before,
of
and
different
it's just-
colors. I'm like, it's
That's
it's
not a bad
mess.
idea.
What?
I'm gonna take a picture of the ley lines map with my phone.
Do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it right there.
He
So, there
just
you go.
passes the thing to Jody. Dang.
So what are you doing there, Bunk?
I'm going to find a gun because
Okay.
I need a gun.
All right, so Bunk leaves. You can
After
probably
last
get one
night's
from
adventure?
a pawn shop. What's your resources at?
Hey, I live at a pawn
two.
shop.
Was it?
2.
Oh, wait. Miranda could go with
Give me
you.
a deal on what?
I could
Probably.
maybe get you a discount.
Yes, yes.
You don't want to get a trombone that when you pull it in, bam, 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 bam.
Would that
you
be
know?
Might mess with the acoustics.
No.
No, that would be something you'd have to talk to Darwin about.
Trombone? That'd be like a little.
But do you really want to
piano.
walk around with a trombone everywhere? Well, I guess you
Yeah,
might.
I feel like-
Yeah, you know, I mean,
I'm like El
I probably have it with me right now. You never know when it's New Orleans.
That's true. What
That's
instrument do you
funny.
play?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then.
So are you looking for a slightly concealable pistol? Okay, so you guys are heading to the pawn
BJ's
shop
pawn
where
shop. Just needs a
the guy who lives downstairs from you is.
BJ?
Mhm.
It makes sense for BJ to own BJ's pawn.
Wonder if it does. If it's like, JR or something like that.
Yes, if it's another two.
Another 2.
I'm AB.
Yeah.
It
So
really was supposed
you
to
guys
be
head to
JR.
the pawn shop. She shows you where it is. You go in. There's your landlord, BJ, sitting there. He's behind the desk, kind of sitting. He's smoking a cigarette, and he says, "Hey, Miranda. So, girlfriend, what's up?"
Oh yeah, we are. I am looking to get a deal from a friend here on a firearm.
We talking rifle, shotgun, pistols, whatever.
Like a shotgun and a pistol.
Okay. Gonna need a background check on the pistol, so you're gonna need to fill out this paperwork. So he hands you the
Okay.
paperwork, starts filling it out, stuff like that. He says, "I'll run that through the database in just a minute." Let's see. You're looking for a shotgun. Shotguns are gonna be. Are you looking for double barrel? Are you looking for single shot? You looking for
Good old
maybe.
pump. You get a
Oh,
pump.
but
shotgun.
you're looking for something more combat oriented. All right, gotcha. I've got a pump action shotgun. Sure, it's a 12 gauge. He pulls it out from behind the counter. And he says it's going to be $200. It's a pretty good deal. It's any friend of Miranda's. He says, "Now, what kind of pistol? Are you looking for something you can put in your pocket? Something? What are we talking about here?"
Yeah, something a little concealable.
All right. He says, "Cool. I've got a pistol for you. I can let you have that for about $400. I'll even throw in a box of shells for the shotgun and the pistol."
Do I have that?
What's your resources?
2.
Yeah, you're good. Basically, resources, as long as it's not anything too expensive, you're pretty good. Resources 2. So $600. You're gonna have to kind of dig into your, checking account a little bit. You're gonna need to do a couple gigs to make that
We'll be
back.
sitting outside with playing my trombone.
Yeah, so you're gonna need to work a little bit to get that money back, but it won't be a problem, huh?
We get Lafayette's treasure.
Yeah,
Lafitte's
Lafitte's treasure.
Yeah, whatever.
Lafayette's different.
I don't even know her name. I just need her treasure.
All right, the pistol is a.
Doing that.
Do you want a revolver or a semi-auto? Might be good to have a revolver since you're a magic user.
Yeah.
Uh,
Something with,
Hey,
yeah,
Parents got
less.
some mustard.
Yeah, it's probably a 357.
Got it from the
It's a little snub nose, nice and concealable. You can put it in your pocket or your trench coat or in your trombone case, whatever. It's a weapon 2. Okay, weapon 2 is the 357. The shotgun is weapon 3. Okay,
Kerpile.
so there you go. Pow. All right, so that takes a couple hours to do. Get over there and get everything. You load it up. He kind of runs you through the motions on pistols and cleaning, sells you a gun cleaning kit too, or throws one in probably to make sure that everything works right. 357 is pretty simple. Revolver's pretty simple gun, so it's not a big deal. What are you up to? You two are talking about the armor, right? You get all the measurements you need, so you can kind of start. Now you're going to need to probably find some of the materials for him because he's going to be making it from scratch. Some Kevlar, some metal filaments that he can sew in there, and some cloth and stuff like that. So you guys are going to need to probably go
Contact
shopping.
resources.
Maybe
yeah,
a
I'll buy
context.
it all.
Maybe a context roll.
Okay. Okay.
Resources not so worried about. It's not that expensive. It's mainly going to be difficult to get a hold of.
Hell yeah. And I want to throw this in for a +2 anyways.
Alrighty. What are you tagging for the +2? Friends in low places or something like that? Don't you have that, or friends with benefits? That's what it is.
No, I'm going to do survival of the fittest because this is all about survival.
Sure, that works. You make a few phone calls on your cell phone, making sure you're not standing too close to
that's
Dela.
6, by the way.
Oh, cool. And you're able to line up some Kevlar, some carbon fiber, some ballistic cloth, ballistic nylon, and some things like that. You're going to have it delivered to his house, maybe?
I'll get it delivered to mine.
Okay, and then take it to his house.
Take it to his.
So it doesn't put him under... Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
All right, so you have it delivered to the warehouse. Most of them say they can have it there probably by tomorrow. And then you can get it to him and he can start working on it. Cool.
Okay.
All right, cool.
I'm gonna rob it to make it look like somebody else hit the truck so they don't even know what's going on.
There you go. Jody, what are you doing?
So devious.
You're going to try and unravel the little items that they had there? The armored cloaks and things like that are magically powerful? They're not very powerful.
Since we're talking
The
about
nasty
that,
cloak, you mean?
Yeah. They're just armored is what they are, but they're kind of nasty and tattered. I mean,
Why do you
necromancers
say
kinda,
they? Is there more than one?
there's a burial shroud that JD was
Oh,
wearing,
the
and then
burial
she
shroud,
was wearing,
yes.
Kat was wearing a
Okay.
cloak.
No, yeah.
Anyway, you were saying.
So, since you're bringing this up, I was a little confused. You know, I'm not very familiar with the Dresden file stuff, but when you say unravel,
You're basically counterspelling is what it is. Just a counterspell, yeah.
okay, because like
Yeah.
I was following you with the death shroud thing. I could see how you could unravel that.
Yeah, sure, it's cloth,
I
yeah.
can see how you can unravel,
Yeah.
a cloak. And then you're like, yeah, someone else who's better at unraveling knives. And I was like,
Unraveling obsidian? How does that work? No, unraveling the spells on
okay, yeah, I just
Yeah.
want to.
Kind of like with the
Staff.
Right.
Devil
Basically,
Man
they're like-
staff.
they're
Right,
weaved
right.
With woven
Took
with
me a minute.
magic.
Right, woven with purple chains with the horn on it that was
Yeah.
holding the devil man
We
here,
still
right?
haven't resolved that yet, have we?
What, the staff
Yeah, we-
went
Yeah, we
to
did
the
return
church?
it.
Not about the
Church.
staff. The devil man. He came back afterwards.
No,
That
not
was
after
No,
the
no-
staff.
it was still
No.
imbued with his.
Okay, I've got
Right.
I've got things
Once you
I
got the
wrote
staff
down.
and canceled the spell, he hasn't shown up since then.
Yeah, we've been kind of waiting.
Of course,
just
it's
to make
only
sure.
been one night since then,
Yeah.
so
Right.
still holding on.
We're
we'll
still
see.
waiting.
Home,
Sure.
so
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that, and I'm also going to go to my office and make some.
Okay. Anyway, so
Yeah.
you're
Do I
making
have
notes
to
and
make
stuff like
rolls and
that.
stuff for that?
No.
Oh.
And I'm not gonna make you roll to remove the spells from the cloak or anything like that. It's a thaumaturgic ritual. You got your, chief thaumaturgist right here. Between the two of you, you can unravel it pretty well. And like I said in the Dresden Files RPG, they say if it's not exciting to make a roll about it, don't roll. If they've got plenty of time, then just let them do it.
And I'm
With
going to
thaumaturgy.
throw the book into like a little burn
Yeah, it
metal
burns.
can I have outside my
You want to
house.
read it first?
No,
Okay.
I'm the warden. No.
Yeah. Well, you're not a magician, so it wouldn't help you.
But
these-
knowledge
Oh,
is
there it is.
power. And I like power.
I burned it.
Oh well.
And as she looks away.
Okay.
I can't control
No,
that.
sure you.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do
All
it.
right.
Stealth check.
Okay. First, I turn into a dragon.
Okay,
we
so
don't
you go.
notice that.
Yeah, no, I turn into a dragon
That's
like
not
I'm just
suspicious.
stretching.
No, you turn into a dragon so he can take your measurements because you might need to have something that will flex.
Wow.
Yep.
I feel like the
Wow.
So
DM
there needs to be
really
some
good.
gussets
Maybe.
built into it to stretch.
Maybe I'll get a 4-person saddle.
You're not that big a dragon. I don't think. You're kind of like a dragonoid. Yeah.
Just panting.
I
If
hear
we
what you're
happen to
saying.
top the
So,
ground, we'll glide.
so like one of those little baby things. Yeah, just
Kinetic blast. Yes. All right.
Oof.
see that's where those friends with benefits come through, man. Just
Yeah, you know. Oh God, I should have saved my refresh point for this one. Well, I got a 2 then.
Alertness check, Joe.
Yes.
What'd you get?
It's probably still better than mine.
Thinking of
Nope,
one.
I got a -1.
She looks away to make a note about something, and you snag it. Now, the thing about it is that it's on fire. Maybe the first part of the book has
It's really
burned
hot.
away.
Okay.
So you grab it and you kind of stomp on it to put it out, and keep your foot on it. She kind of turns around trying to figure out why you're stomping the ground, and you smile, and you're looking like a dragon. So it's kind of a weird smile. And she kind of looks at you funny and goes back to writing down things. At which point you snag what's left of the book and toss it up into one of your jacket pockets or something like that. So you probably got maybe half the book. That's what it is. So
Okay.
yeah,
Better than that.
yeah.
Does anybody else
Meanwhile,
wanna see if
across
this
town,
happened?
no, me and
No.
Bunker at the.
No, they're
I'm
gone.
like, do you guys have scuba gear? You know.
He looks at you and says, "No, sorry, not really needed. Nobody really swims in Pontchartrain much. It's kind of
We
gross."
just need some gillyweed and we'll be good, or whatever it was from Harry Potter.
It was
Well,
really-
then you've
That was
got a guy who could probably make you a breathing potion or a breathing apparatus. It's
Yes.
magical.
Come to me for all your miscellaneous resource
Right?
needs.
Trevor, it's like our requisitions.
He could
officer
probably
or
make it. Well,
whatever.
you can make how many potions? You can carry like 4 of them, right?
Yes.
So he could have a water breathing potion that he could make. You might have to share it, which means it would lessen its effectiveness or length of time it would last. But still, you could probably make water breathing potions.
Yeah, so long as I always have 2 healing potions. That's my minimum.
gotcha.
Always
Don't
have
run
those
out of
2.
those, that's for
I
sure.
just want to find one of those old timey diving, like with
Oh.
this kind of thing.
With, like,
can
a
you just
diving bell.
enchant it?
Oh my gosh, that would be terrible.
Those are scary because if the engine shuts off,
Yeah,
you're dead.
you're done. You can't go anywhere. You
Yeah.
certainly can't rise because they're made of metal and you've got
Yeah, they're
lead belt. They're terrible.
Those are
They're
What was
terrible.
that movie?
Yeah, they
I
are.
think it had Cuba Gooding Jr. in it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I'm talking
Yeah.
about, where they did.
Yeah.
So you finish getting measurements. You grab the book. You guys have gotten the gun. You're
gonna-
thinking, I need to line up some
I think
more
it's
gigs
mobile,
to
isn't it?
make $600 pretty quick.
Sounds good.
So you start making a few phone calls to some people, lining up some gigs for tonight. Jody, you finished writing stuff down and unraveling the spells that were around
did
the
I? It
cloaks.
got
Yeah,
unraveled?
yeah, you didn't have to roll now. Miranda, you're at your apartment. Basically, he's probably headed out to get his gigs lined up. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna go upstairs and probably just rest for the evening.
Mhm.
Check on my wound.
It's looking better.
Okay, and
In fact, you're thinking that probably you're going to be able to go without. It's almost, well, I won't say it's the end of the session, but it's close enough that you can go ahead and consider it gone.
Okay.
Or wait, does that move up to a minor
I think it just
wound?
moves up to a minor wound and then
Yeah.
I'll be gone the next session.
Right, so I think it goes up to a minor wound, right?
So at this
So, yeah.
point, we're just like
Yeah, not too bad.
chronic scab.
Right,
Um,
scabby wound.
and
black smoke.
I'll check on that, and I have like a little house vigil set up, like
Yeah.
a few candles for our
Yeah.
brothers,
Right.
say a prayer before bed, and then
Actually, Deacon Fontainebleau does call you and tells you that they are going to have a mass for the policemen. It's going to be a closed mass because they don't want people asking questions about how they died.
Okay.
And you're welcome to attend. He says it's going to be tonight at 5 o'clock.
I will attend.
So you get kind of cleaned up and head on out to the mass. The mass is nice. It's quiet. And it's just pretty much you, Deacon Fontainebleau, and one of the priests. And they say a mass. Everybody takes, communion, and then you head back to your place probably to rest. You've landed 2 or 3 gigs. One for tonight got canceled at the last minute, so you're heading to Frenchman Street to play your trombone. What are you doing, darling? You may need to go work on this armor for
Yeah.
or at least some of the stuff that you're going to need to do for the
Oh
armor.
no, this was his personal day.
Oh, that's true. Maybe you just want to go home and watch MASH.
You got the wrong group.
It's
Yeah.
late at night.
You just go home and watch MASH for a little while, or reruns of MASH, or
No, that's more of a wind down.
Oh,
Let's see
right,
here.
okay.
Get ready for bed.
What time? About what time is it right now?
it's
What are we
probably
looking at?
around 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys have probably ordered something for lunch, or maybe you went out and had DoorDash drop off
We
something
had
for lunch.
tacos.
Oh, that's right. You had tacos. Never mind. You don't have. You didn't order
Only
anything.
2 street tacos each. So I don't know
Yeah,
if
so
y'all are
you
full
may have
of
ordered
those,
some
but
pizza or something like that while you're kind of sitting
Like-
around.
Vault definitely eats a
A
lot.
lot. I think so too. Yeah. I think dragons have a high
Is that where the
metabolism.
other tacos went?
That's right. Yeah.
You
the-
said they had like 12 each.
Y'all didn't see
No,
me,
it
but
was
I
12
stole the
each when I
trees.
thought it was
Yeah.
just us. Then
No,
all
he
of
didn't eat
us
any tacos.
showed up,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh.
I was like, she was talking, and Volt's like,
I totally got this for
In that case,
everyone
definitely
and
go
wasn't
home.
planning for me and
Okay.
Dela
That's
to
kind of
just
where I
eat
want
all
to
of
be right
these.
now.
Right.
Head on home.
Make a few rough sketches. We'll
Yeah.
jot down a couple ideas for what.
How
might
to
be
make this stuff
involved in
flex
this.
around a dragon when he
Yeah.
changes. Yeah.
Never had that issue before. Now I just have to think of a whole process.
But you can do it. You got some ideas about how to make things, realign themselves. You may have to invest it with a little bit of magical ability, but that shouldn't be bad. Kyle, where are you heading? Are you heading back to your warehouse?
Yeah, I guess to the warehouse.
All right, you get back home to the warehouse. As you're pulling into the front
Dude, that's
gate,
what's coming.
you notice that there is a Rolls Royce Phantom sitting outside the warehouse. The gate's open. They're sitting out. The Rolls Royce is just sitting.
Do I recognize the car at all?
No, it's white, beautiful, probably worth. Well, you can't afford a Rolls Royce, that's for sure.
No, yeah, probably not.
Yeah, not yet. Not until you get about resources 4 or 5. When you pull up to and you're the Impala and you love 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 love. You step out. You notice that a guy gets out of the back seat. He is a very large gentleman.
Bigger than me.
He's comparable in size to you, actually. But he's wearing a nice suit. Kind of a gray pinstripe suit. Make me an alertness check.
Okay. It's a skill that you have to take. Damn. Only got a 2.
He steps out of the car, and as you kind of start, I expect, heading towards the stairs, you're going to go over and talk to him. What are you going to do?
I'm not gonna head to the stairs. I want to keep my eyes on him.
Right.
And you said he's parked right outside my gate.
No, he's parked right at the bottom of the stairs. He's basically, the gate's open, and he's actually let himself in.
Okay. I'm gonna say it's kind of rude to show up unannounced.
My apologies. My employer would appreciate a chance to meet with you immediately.
Who's your employer?
I would prefer not to say out here where there are so many ears, but if you wouldn't mind getting into the car, I will take you to her.
All right.
He's being very polite, by the way. You notice that he is not being threatening. When you get closer to him, you notice he is wearing a huge pistol rig underneath his jacket, and it's the coat is tailored so that when he puts his arm down, you can't see it. So it's well cut. I mean, this suit is probably more than you can afford right now. This is a pretty expensive suit, and it's nice. He says, if you wouldn't mind getting into the car.
Sure.
So he opens the back door. You notice that there's a driver up front, and he gets into the back and he slides across. Okay, and you slide in. And the driver, the door closes. The driver gets out, closes the door, gets back inside, and the car just purrs out the gate. I mean, you like your Impala, but this is luxury. You wouldn't mind having one of these. I mean, it just
One day.
glides. And he says, would you like something to drink?
Bottle.
I say,
Yeah, you don't feel the bottles,
I say, I don't drink on business hours.
Very well, very well. Duly noted. He says, and so you drive. He takes you towards what looks like the French Quarter, which you're like, I just got from here.
Yeah.
And if you remember where the mall is, it's down there, the Riverwalk Mall. He takes you to an area that's just past the mall. From well, let's see. Give me a
Scholarship?
yeah. Let's go scholarship. I'll go with that.
Don't know this side of town.
Okay. Yeah, you're not used to this side of town. He pulls up to one entrance. It's a building that's just kind of attached to the mall. Really nice. You notice that somebody comes out. Basically, he hops out, comes around, opens your door, and the driver pulls away. He takes you into through the spinning glass door, into this beautiful lobby. There's a person sitting behind one of the desks, looks like a security guard. He nods to the guy. No words are said, and he takes you to this elevator. Pulls out a key card.
I put the shades on.
Okay. He puts a key card into the elevator. Ding! elevator opens, and he pushes the top button, which has just a star on it. And the elevator begins to whisk up. Okay.
And it's a penthouse you can't afford.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. It rises, and you notice that it
Five-finger
discount.
discount.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you 5-finger discount a penthouse. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, when you're a dragon,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Fingers. That's right.
It's called
Dragonoid.
Hey, don't belittle me.
Right. You are kind of going up this little glass elevator that there's an atrium around you, and you can see like there's hallways that lead off to, I guess, where other apartments or condominiums are. And then this elevator rises up out of the building, and you realize that you're kind of on the side of the building, and so you can see out over across the Mississippi River, and you're like, wow, this is a really nice, view. You're thinking, this is very pretty. It goes about 2 or 3 more floors, and then it comes to a stop. The sun's beginning to get towards the horizon, and the door opens. Beautiful penthouse. Marble, granite, brass, silver. Just if you've ever seen any of these movies where you see what the penthouse suite looks like in Vegas, this is what you're seeing, but it's in New Orleans, okay? There is a attractive young woman and an attractive young man standing on either side of this beautiful wooden door. And the guy gestures to the hallway.
Do they look like, I'm just making an assumption, vampires?
Investigation check.
Alright.
He walks to the door, sees people. Show me your teeth.
What them canines look like? Well, I don't even have that skill.
No, goody.
I got a 0.
No, you don't think they're vampires. They look like very attractive young men and women.
Okay.
Young man and woman. They immediately, the guy gestures that way, and for you to precede him out of the elevator. He walks up behind you, but not too close to be creepy. He's just kind of making coming up behind you. They immediately reach over and swing these beautiful wooden doors open, and they're soundless. And here's this huge, open, glassed-in room with kind of a second floor. And you can see this beautiful, as the sun just touches the sunset, the horizon. You notice that the windows have these curtains kind of slide out from behind them, and they cut off the sunlight. And you notice that this woman begins walking down the stairs. She's maybe probably late 20s.
Wait, so this isn't Anastasia?
No, it's
shit.
not Anastasia. This woman is, she's got kind of dark hair,
Wait a minute.
bit olive complected. She's wearing a dress that looks like maybe tiger skin. Maybe not tiger skin, there's a tiger print on it, right? It is very skinny. And she's smoking a cigar.
Have I worked for her once?
Maybe.
Uh-huh.
You've never met her, though.
Okay.
She comes walking down the stairs. She's smoking a cigar. She's wearing these pumps that are probably 3-inch heels, and she comes walking towards you. And you're thinking she's a really handsome woman, okay? But she's pretty too. I mean, her features are not soft like a model's. She's hard, but you're thinking, she's attractive too. Mm-hmm. And she walks up and she says, "Volt Kruger, would you like something to drink?"
I prefer not to drink on business.
Coke, then.
Sure.
Is that technically
Wait,
That's
what kind of Coke? Cocaine?
No. Well, actually, one of the little guy that was there, who looks, you notice that these people that are maybe 18, the guy, blonde-headed, kind of thin, wayfish, heads out of the room, and in a couple seconds he comes back with a can of Coke.
Okay, all right.
And yeah.
Looking for a silver platter.
Right, no, nothing like that.
Oh, God.
It's a can of Coke, and he opens it for you and hands it to you.
Just Coke then.
Yeah.
He comes back with a tray. You're like, wait, what kind? He's like,
I read something really funny about the original Die Hard movie. There's a point when the guy with who's trying to turn in John McCain to the bad guys, right? Mm-hmm. He calls him and says, "Look, John, booby, I need you to stop, throwing a monkey wrench into what they're doing." He asks, if you notice at one point, they come in and they bring him a can of Coke. earlier in the movie, we'd seen him snorting coke off of the desk in one of the offices. And it kind of makes you wonder, wait.
Did they get it wrong?
Did they read the script wrong?
Yeah, well, you know, they're not from this area, you know, so it's kind of funny. Anyway, okay.
That's funny.
No, he hands you a can of Coke. And then
I give it a sniff real quick.
well, he opened it in front of you.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
I was hoping it wasn't open.
Yeah. No, he and handed it to you.
I said, I don't
It
do
does smell
Coke,
like
I
icky or
just like the
weird
way
or
it
something.
Not
smells.
to tell, no.
I guess I'll
Same
take
with
a
coffee.
sip.
Yeah, it tastes like normal Coke, but anyway. So then she turns around and says, have a seat. And so there's this long white leather kind of sectional couch that's there. It probably could seat 14. And she goes over and sits in this gray chair that has its back placed to the windows, and basically where she can sit and see the entire couch. You get this distinctive feeling like it's almost a throne. It's a little...
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's a very, very throne-like atmosphere. And again, you know, the curtains have kind of closed off the window behind her, so you're not going to be looking into the sun. You have a seat?
Yeah.
She says, Mr. Kruger, I would like to know your intentions in the area of organized crime in the city of New Orleans.
No intentions, really. Just here for money.
None whatsoever. Now, I understand that you have a certain set of skills that you tend to hire out to the highest bidder. And I have no problem with you exercising those skills in my city, of course. In fact, you've done a great service to me in the past, so I understand. And I've, of course, returned the favor helping you set up other clients.
Of course, I appreciate that.
Right. So I think that we should come to an arrangement.
All right.
She says, we've spoken once before. My name is Jean-Marie Robriere. That's your sister.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No, but I'm not there.
Yeah, you're not. And so she says, I would like to retain your services at my disposal so that I receive preferential treatment from you.
All right.
If I have any...
Price is right, I can do that.
Well, exactly. And I think that we can come to a mutually beneficial agreement. She says, perhaps this would sweeten the deal. And she reaches over and from the side pulls up this manila folder and hands it across to you. Now, you're going to have to get up to get it.
Okay, I get up.
Okay. You get it?
Yeah.
Open it up. It's the deed to the warehouse where you're living.
I kind of chuckle.
Yeah. Well, you know that, you were kind of squatting there.
Yeah.
But this makes it legal. I mean, nobody's going to come run you out or ask you for back taxes or anything like that. I mean, it's paid up in front. There's a sale price of $150,000. And so she hands it to you and she says, I assume this is where you are living. I give you the deed to the warehouse, free and clear. No strings attached, except that if I have need of you, I want preferential treatment. In other words, you drop what you're doing and come help me. A man with your skills is hard to find.
Arranging big plans soon?
No, but there are forces moving within the city that I may need some assistance with.
Sure.
Well then, this was a very good agreement. Should we drink on it? And she puts her hand out, and the little girl scurries up with a flute of champagne and says, to friendships. And
I grab my Coke and...
yeah, right. And newfound business partners. And she takes a sip of the champagne and then says, well, this was good. Is there anything else I could help you with, Mr. Kruger? Make me an investigation check.
Oh, God.
I need a car.
Yeah. No, he has a car. He's got a nice car.
He's a boat. It's a mosquito.
Yeah, that's still poopy.
Okay.
Hang on.
All
I've
right.
got one more refresh point now since the level up. So, investigation. Could I use this district isn't big enough for the two of us? to get a +2 to it?
Sure.
Or
What else you got?
I've got, survival of the fittest. I am not my father, hear me roar. Friends with benefits, and warden's arrow is notched.
Warden's arrows notched.
I have a trouble aspect, which is there's a bullseye on my back.
Well, let's use that one.
There's a
I like
bullseye
that
on my
one.
back.
Yeah. You can add the 2 to it if you give me a fate point. Yeah. So what does that put you at?
That will put me at just a 2. Maybe, no, I don't want to reroll. I don't
Nah.
trust my dice.
Oh, are you sure? Choose. I mean, you're at a 0, right? So the best you could hope to get would be what, a
A +4.
Four,
I'm
yeah.
already halfway there. I think I'm just gonna
yeah,
stick with the 2.
I hear you. That's probably a better idea. So you kind of.
Wow.
Kidding me? I rolled a 4.
Just for fun.
I'll let you.
Just
I'll let you. I'll let you take it.
no.
Nah, I'll let you take it. I'll let you take
can't
it.
believe
I like that because
That's hilarious.
there's something off about her.
Like, is she scared or just hiding something?
No.
Or...
I mean, you've never met her before, but there's something just a little strange.
Okay.
You're not sure what it is. Whether I don't know. Maybe she's just a little too perfect. I don't know. It's almost. And here's the thing.
What do you mean, like, too perfect? Like,
Well, it's
too
almost
good at the job or whatever?
no. Like if she were to, offer to take you to dinner somewhere. This is almost like a woman you're like, if I've ever looked for a woman who I would be interested in, it's a strong woman with lots of power, money. I mean, this is just like the perfect mate. And you're just kind of like, she's playing on my, emotions and my libido to try and, kind of throw me off my guard.
Oh.
You're just thinking almost like, she couldn't have done it any better if she tried. And she obviously did, right? You're just going, this is kind of weird. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm here for a good time and some killing.
Right, yeah, so.
This is right up my alley. I got a free warehouse now.
Right. She says, well, would you like something to eat, Mr. Kruger? Perhaps we could go grab something either in the city or I could have something brought up here. I have a great chef.
Sure, let's see what your chef's good at.
Anything particularly you don't like?
House, never mind.
No
You're about
salad.
to say house salad.
Yeah.
No, I was
House
saying,
salad. I've
Yeah.
never understood it.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say the house special, but that's not the question she asked.
Yeah.
Maybe not maybe no greens.
I can take care of that. She says, well, while we're doing that, let's step out onto the patio and we can look at the city at night. You notice that the sun is completely sunk below the horizon, and so she opens the curtains. There's a beautiful wraparound veranda there, and you step out. You can see the river. It's kind of nice, cool breeze off the river. You step around all the way around, and you can see the lights of the city. It's actually really pretty. I mean, this is a great view. You don't even want to know how much she's paying for it. And she says, "So, how long have you been in the city again?" She's kind of making small talk.
Just since the Katrina swept through.
Right,
Kind of
right.
rolled in with the storm.
I hear you. A lot of things did.
A lot of opportunity after that.
Absolutely. I've made a good bit of my share of money after Katrina as well. Most of it legit, some of it not. And she's kind of puffing on this little cigar and
I say, what is legitimacy but a human concept?
a social construct. I agree. And so she's smoking the cigar and sipping on the champagne, leaning on the railing, and you notice that this dress goes way down in her back, and you're kind of like, she's really attractive. And she's, you're kind of talking and chatting. About 30 minutes goes by, and the little girl scurries out on the balcony and says, "The food's ready." And so she says, "Oh, good." So you step inside. She kind of leads you through the living room towards the area where the Coke can came from,
Okay.
into what looks like a formal dining room. Nice long wooden table. There's a chandelier lit up. 2 chairs. You're each sitting at either end of the table. And sitting there is just tons and tons of food. There's looks like a roast boar. You're like, roast boar? Who gets a roast boar? And then it's got, some vegetables around it, and you see there's just a plate of bread, and then there's like fish, and looks like maybe steak or something like that, and it's just this huge meal, and you're like, how do you have all this fixed in like 30 minutes? I don't know, who knows? She gestures towards the seat, sits down. Yeah, well, probably not. But and so you sit down, and she says, "Dig in." And so she starts. The little guy and girl come around and serve your plates, cut the boar. It turns out it's not a boar; it just looks like a boar. And so it's ham though. And so she hands you some stuff and food, and just mounds this plate up with food. And then she puts it in front of her, and she's kind of sipping and just kind of nibbling on the food and stuff like that, and just making small talk and stuff like that. I am going to need you.
Make a point of dexterity save.
Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah. Stuffs me in a cage, starts feeding me till I'm gargantuan.
I am going to need you to make a discipline check.
Okay. Jeez Louise.
What do you got?
That's a 1.
I
roll bad.
You're eating. It's really good food. You're surprised how good it is. Really cooked to perfection. The ham has glaze on the outside and a little pineapple with it, and the cherries, and it's just perfect. And you're eating it, and you keep looking up at her and noticing, wow, she is really good looking and really attractive, and you're kind of and she's kind of talking, and you're having a lot of trouble concentrating on what she's saying, just because you can't take your eyes off of her. And then you finish eating, and dessert's served, and she says, well, this was definitely a productive meeting. I look forward to talking with you in the future, Mr. Kruger. And you almost find yourself disappointed she didn't ask you to stay the night. I mean, you're a little wary of her anyway, because she's but you're kind of like, well, darn, I was kind of hoping she'd ask me to stay a little later. And so the guy, big guy, meets you kind of halfway through the room, takes you to the elevator, down the elevator, back out to the Rolls Royce, and they take you back to your warehouse. And you do have the deed in your hands right there. So there you go. It's probably 10 o'clock. You're like, wow, where did all the time go?
Do I have like big storage containers, like big metal storage containers?
No, not yet. I mean, you could probably get some. You mean like a shipping, the big.
So
shipping
what I
crates.
want to do is get. I have a like stupid might roll.
Yeah, I got you.
Without rolling, I think it's like a +8 if I'm like moving, pushing, breaking stuff.
Right.
So what I want to do is for my dragon horde in this deed is basically just have a hole underneath a giant heavy shipping crate.
Oh, right, like a safe. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. You could make that
So
happen.
the only way you're going to open it or get to it is if you're really strong
tip it up,
and then
right.
know the combination.
Right, I got you. Okay, well, you need to get safe first, but yes, you could definitely work on that.
So I want to do something.
You finished your set. It's a good set. Make me a performance check. Let's see how much you make off of this. Yeah, let's do that.
I'm not gonna lie. At first, when you were describing that, I thought you were like, so you just want like one of those like anvil traps you just drop on something.
So,
Warehouse
5.
sensor like an Acme.
All right. Good.
House.
It's a good set. The proprietor of a place called the
Well, that's where I'm
El
going.
Gato Negro enjoyed your playing. You make about $200. You're sitting in with a small ensemble of brass. There's a singer, guitarist. But yeah, you make about $200, which is not too bad for a couple hours gig, kind of on the last moment. He says that he's got some other gigs that he can line up for you if you're interested.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, kind of sets you up one for a couple nights from now. Let's see, it's Thursday. Let's say a Saturday night gig, which will probably be some big money because it is Saturday night. And then maybe the next week on a Tuesday if things work out well. But yeah, he says that definitely, so it's about 1 o'clock in the morning. You're probably ready to head on home. You've been playing a good bit. Actually, you probably played more than 2 hours, probably about 3 hours. You've headed up to you've been to Mass, probably headed home. Jody, you've been doing what?
I'm asleep. If it's 10, I'm asleep.
No.
Oh.
When we left you, it was about 4 o'clock in the
Oh,
afternoon.
okay. I burned the cloaks. I don't want to keep them.
Right, yeah, they're just
After I
normal
got the
cloaks
spells
once you
off 'em. Yeah.
dispel them, yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna go study my ley line some more.
Okay.
And I noticed that when I noticed when she put her Lafitte map down where she was like.
Yeah, you did see that.
So
yeah,
I'm
there
gonna
was a
mark.
place.
I'm gonna mark the map myself. So I know.
There's nothing out there in Lake Pontchartrain where you mark. There doesn't seem. It's just kind of middle of the lake, honestly. Which,
I know, but it's still marked.
yeah.
Just in case.
And you had headed home and were working on designs for
Yes.
the armor, right? All right. Everybody kind of beds in for the night. You stumble on home, tired, happy, having made a little bit of money. Today on the Dresden Download, we're going to talk about what comes next. Well, we've been releasing episodes of the Dresden File for almost a year now, and I think you can see that sometimes the big easy isn't quite so easy. But we're going to take about a 2-month break. We'll be back at the beginning of August with new episodes, new adventures in New Orleans, and also a new intro sequence. But most importantly, we'll have t-shirts for sale. So come check us out in a couple months. Don't forget about us. See you then.